Whispers of eternity. The stars were dying. Not in the natural way. The slow, dignified burnout after billions of years of faithful service. This was different. Premature. Wrong. Captain Maya Chen stood at the observation deck of Horizon Station, Earth's furthest scientific outpost, watching the time-lapse recordings with a growing sense of dread. The holographic display showed Arc 742, once a vibrant yellow star much like Sol, rapidly dimming over just 3 months until it collapsed into a cold, dark husk. "That's the 17th in this sector alone," said Dr. Elijah Park, the station's lead astrophysicist. His normally steady hands trembled slightly as he manipulated the display. "There's no pattern we can detect, no correlation with age, size, or composition." Maya's dark eyes reflected the dying star. At 34, she had already commanded 3 deep space expeditions, but nothing had prepared her for this. How long until whatever's happening reaches Sol? Elijah's silence answered before his words did. "We don't know. The phenomenon isn't moving in a linear fashion. It's appearing randomly, but the frequency is increasing. Some of our models suggest." The station's AI interrupted with its melodic tone. "Priority communication from Earth Central. Eyes only for Captain Chen." Maya nodded at Elijah, who reluctantly left the observation deck. When the doors hissed shut behind him, she authorized the transmission. Admiral Kavita Sharma's weathered face appeared, the deep lines around her eyes more pronounced than when Maya had seen her 6 months ago. "Captain, we've detected something." A signal originating from beyond the Perseus void. Maya's pulse quickened. Nothing came from the void. The vast, empty region between spiral arms that had never shown signs of stellar formation, let alone civilization. What kind of signal? Unknown. But it's not random noise. There's structure, complexity, and the Admiral hesitated. It mentions the stellar extinctions. By name. "That's impossible. We only classified the phenomenon 3 weeks ago." "Exactly. Whatever sent this message knows more about what's happening than we do." The Admiral's expression hardened. "We're authorizing a mission." "Your mission. Take Horizon's new deep space vessel, assemble whatever crew you need, and find the source of that signal." Maya felt the weight of billions of lives settling onto her shoulders. If some intelligence out there understood what was killing the stars, it might be humanity's only hope. "Understood, Admiral. When do we leave?" "Yesterday." 72 hours later, the Pathfinder slipped its moorings from Horizon Station. The experimental ship represented Earth's most advanced technology. A quantum drive capable of bending space-time, adaptive shielding derived from studies of tardigrade biology, and an AI core sophisticated enough to be considered sentient in some jurisdictions. Maya had assembled her crew with ruthless efficiency. Elijah Park as science officer, Lieutenant Zara Okafor, Earth's most decorated pilot, Dr. Mai Wu, sinolinguist and first contact specialist, and chief engineer Gabriel Santiago, who had personally designed critical systems on the Pathfinder. "Final systems check complete," Zara announced from the pilot station, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. "Quantum drive ready for first jump." Maya took her command seat, feeling the subtle embrace of the inertial dampeners. "Plot course for the signal origin. Maximum sustainable quantum compression." Gabriel looked up from his station. "Captain, we've never tested the drive beyond 70% capacity in actual space conditions. Today seems like a good day to make history, Chief," Maya replied, her voice leaving no room for debate. "Humanity doesn't have the luxury of caution right now." As the Pathfinder accelerated, reality outside the viewport stretched like taffy before snapping into the swirling blue-violet patterns of quantum space. They were officially farther from Earth than any human had ever traveled. Over the next 2 weeks, the Pathfinder made 17 increasingly longer jumps, pushing deeper into uncharted space. Between jumps, they observed the devastation firsthand. Where star charts showed vibrant star systems, they found only darkness, cooling clouds of gas, and occasionally the desperate remnants of civilizations that had not been able to evacuate in time. "It's getting worse," Elijah reported during their final approach to the signal's origin. "We've documented 39 extinct stars that weren't on our original list. The progression is accelerating." Maya nodded grimly. "Distance to the signal source. Less than 6 light hours," Zara replied. "But there's something strange about the readings. It's as if the source is somehow out of phase with normal space." Explanation. Dr. Wu spoke up from her station, where she'd been analyzing the signal patterns. "Captain, I believe whatever we're approaching exists partially in another dimension. The signal modulation suggests technology far beyond our understanding." "Prepare for final approach," Maya ordered. "All defensive systems on standby. Dr. Wu, prepare first contact protocols." The Pathfinder emerged from its final quantum jump into a region of space unlike anything they had ever seen. Before them floated what appeared to be a vast, translucent structure, neither solid nor liquid, but something in between. It pulsed with soft bioluminescence, stretching at least 20 kilometers in every direction. "No detectable power sources," Gabriel reported, bewildered. "No radiation. No identifiable technology at all. But it's definitely the source of the signal." "It's beautiful," whispered Zara. As they watched, a portion of the structure shifted, forming what appeared to be an opening, an invitation. "They're reacting to our presence," Dr. Wu said, voice tight with controlled excitement. "The signal has changed. I believe they're inviting us inside." Maya weighed their options. Protocol dictated caution, isolation, careful study from a distance. But Earth didn't have time for protocol. "Take us in, Lieutenant. Minimum thruster power." The Pathfinder glided into the opening, which sealed behind them like living tissue. Inside was a space that defied human perception. Angles that seemed to bend in impossible ways, surfaces that appeared both kilometers away and close enough to touch. "Captain," the ship's AI announced, "I'm detecting a data transfer attempt. The entity is trying to interface with our systems." Before Maya could respond, the ship's lights flickered, and a voice unlike any they had ever heard filled the command deck, not through the speakers, but seemingly directly in their minds. "We are the Veil. You have come far, children of Earth." Maya stood, addressing the empty air. "I am Captain Maya Chen of the Earth vessel Pathfinder. We received your signal about the stellar extinctions. Yes, the great darkness comes. It feeds on the light of stars, growing stronger with each one it consumes. We have watched it for 10,000 of your years, helpless to stop its hunger." "What is it?" Elijah asked, stepping forward. "Some kind of organism. A natural phenomenon." "Neither. Both. It began as a weapon, created by those who came before us in the last Great War. Now it exists beyond control, beyond understanding. But you are different." Images suddenly flooded the ship's displays. Stars across the galaxy, some bright, some dimming, some already dark. At the center, Sol, Earth's sun, shone with steady, defiant brightness. "Your star resists. Alone among all we have observed, it does not succumb. We have called you here to understand why. To learn if there is hope." Maya exchanged glances with her crew, seeing in their eyes the same mix of fear and wild hope that she felt. "We don't understand. What's special about our sun? That is what you must discover. Quickly. The others have noticed your star's resistance. They come now, desperate civilizations seeking salvation. Some will ask, others will take." The images shifted to show vast fleets of alien vessels, all converging on a single point in space. "Earth. We need to warn Earth," Zara whispered. "Yes, but first, we must understand. Allow us to join with your vessel, your minds. There is no time for lesser methods." Maya felt the weight of humanity's future pressing down on her. This alien entity was offering knowledge, but at what cost? Trust was a luxury they might not be able to afford. And yet, without trust, There would be no chance at all. "We accept," she said firmly, ignoring the looks of alarm from Gabriel and Zara. "Show us what we need to know." The interior of the structure began to pulse with increasing intensity, streams of luminescent energy flowing toward the Pathfinder. As the energy touched the hull, Maya felt a presence in her mind. Ancient beyond comprehension, alien yet somehow familiar. Knowledge poured into them, the history of countless civilizations, the birth and death of galaxies, the nature of the great darkness, and most importantly, the unique properties of humanity's home star that had, thus far, kept it safe from the encroaching doom. When the connection finally broke, Maya collapsed into her command chair, her mind reeling from revelations too vast to immediately process. "Captain," Elijah said, his voice shaking. "I understand now. It's us. It's been us all along." The others turned to him, confused but beginning to grasp fragments of the revelation they had all shared. "Humanity," Elijah continued, "something about our consciousness, our collective presence around Sol for thousands of years. We've been unconsciously protecting it. The veil showed me. Human minds generate a unique quantum field that's been reinforcing our star's natural processes, stabilizing it against the darkness." "That's impossible," Gabriel objected. "We're talking about a star, billions of times our mass, nuclear fusion on an unimaginable scale." "And yet," Dr. Wu said softly, "in the oldest human myths, in cultures separated by vast distances, there has always been the belief that humans could influence the sun through ritual and prayer." "You understand now," the Veil's voice returned. "What began as instinct in your earliest ancestors has evolved, strengthened. Your species' unique neural patterns generate quantum effects that extend beyond your physical bodies. Unknown to you, you have been your star's guardians." "But we're not special," Maya objected. "We're just one species among millions. All life influences reality, but your kind does so in a way precisely opposed to the darkness. This is why others come for you now. Not for your technology or your resources, but for your essence." The displays showed the alien armadas again, closer now to Sol. "We need to go home," Maya said, rising to her feet with new determination. "We need to warn Earth. We will help you return faster than you came. But remember, the knowledge you now carry will make you both saviors and targets. Some will seek to study and learn. Others will attempt to harvest what makes you unique." As the Pathfinder prepared to depart, Maya felt the weight of the knowledge they now carried. Humanity's uniqueness, once a philosophical conceit, was now a scientific reality with profound implications. Earth wasn't just their home. It was perhaps the last hope for a galaxy facing extinction. The living structure around them pulsed one final time, and the Pathfinder was suddenly accelerated by forces beyond their understanding, hurled across the cosmos toward Earth at speeds their own quantum drive could never achieve. They were racing home, carrying both salvation and a target on their backs. Legacy of light. The Pathfinder emerged from its veil-assisted jump directly into Earth's solar system, bypassing the normal detection networks and causing immediate panic among the defense forces. "Hold your fire." Maya broadcast on all frequencies as automated defense platforms locked onto the ship. "This is Captain Chen of the Pathfinder. Authentication code Sierra. Echo 79 Delta. We have critical information about the stellar extinctions." After a tense moment, Admiral Sharma's voice came through. "Captain Chen, your return wasn't expected for months. What happened out there?" "Admiral, we need an emergency council meeting with every scientific authority available, and we need planetary defenses at maximum readiness." Maya's voice was steady despite her exhaustion. "We've made first contact with an intelligence called the Veil, and we've learned why stars are dying. More importantly, we know why Earth's sun is resistant, and why multiple alien civilizations are now converging on our system." 6 hours later, Maya stood before the United Earth Council in Geneva, the holographic faces of colony representatives floating alongside the physically present leaders. She had spent the journey back organizing the vast knowledge transferred by the Veil, working with her crew to translate alien concepts into terms humans could comprehend. The entity known as the Great Darkness was originally created as a weapon in a war we can barely comprehend, she explained, as Elijah projected models showing the phenomenon spread. It was designed to accelerate entropy in stellar bodies, effectively weaponizing the death of stars. But it evolved beyond its creator's control, developing into a self-propagating cosmic force that feeds on stellar energy. "And you're claiming that human consciousness is somehow protecting our sun?" asked the representative from Mars colony, skepticism evident in his tone. "Not just claiming," Maya replied. The Veil provided extensive data on the quantum fields generated by human neural activity. Dr. Park and our science team have verified the mathematical models. Elijah stepped forward. "We've known for decades that consciousness affects quantum systems at the microscopic level. What we never suspected was that these effects could scale up through quantum entanglement chains to influence macroscopic systems, even something as vast as a star." He displayed a complex diagram showing the quantum relationship between human brains and Sol. Humanity has lived around this particular star for our entire evolutionary history. Over hundreds of thousands of years, a symbiotic quantum relationship developed. Our collective consciousness generates a field that reinforces the solar magnetic processes precisely where the Great Darkness attempts to disrupt them. The council chamber erupted in overlapping questions and objections. Admiral Sharma had to call for order several times before the din subsided. "Even if we accept this extraordinary claim," said the Chinese premier, "what does it mean for Earth's defense? You mentioned alien fleets converging on our system." Maya nodded grimly. The Veil confirmed that at least 7 advanced civilizations have detected Sol's resistance to the darkness. 3 of these have launched expeditions toward Earth with unknown intentions. The most concerning is a species called the Collectors, who have already lost their home systems and now travel in massive arc ships. According to the Veil, they are likely to attempt to capture humans for study, and possibly for more invasive extraction of what makes us unique. Before she could continue, emergency alerts blared throughout the chamber. The Admiral's aide rushed in, whispering urgently in her ear. "It seems your warning came just in time, Captain," Sharma announced, rising. "Long-range sensors have detected a fleet of unknown vessels decelerating at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. Their configuration matches nothing in our databases." Within hours, Earth's combined defensive fleet had mobilized into a protective formation. The Pathfinder, despite its crew's exhaustion, joined the front line, their unique experience with alien contact making them invaluable. "Multiple vessels approaching," Zara reported from her station. "Configuration matches the Veil's data on the Collector arc ships. They're massive, each one at least 10 kilometers long." The communication system chimed, indicating an incoming transmission. On the main display appeared a being unlike anything humans had encountered before, a vaguely insectoid form with multiple compound eyes and an exoskeleton that seemed to incorporate technological components. "People of Earth," the translation matrix rendered in a flat, artificial voice. "We are the Collective. We have observed your star's resistance to the Great Darkness. You will surrender representative samples of your species for analysis and preservation. Resistance will result in more forceful collection methods." Maya stepped into the transmission field. "This is Captain Maya Chen of Earth. We understand the desperation driving your actions, but we will not surrender any of our people. However, we offer an alternative." The Collector representative's compound eyes shifted, focusing more intently. "Speak." "The Veil has helped us understand our connection to our star. We believe this knowledge can be shared, not by taking humans as specimens, but through cooperative research. The quantum field effect that protects our sun could potentially be replicated around other stars." There was a long pause before the Collector responded. "Your claims are unverified. We have studied countless species seeking salvation. None have offered more than temporary solutions. Then observe, Maya said, nodding to Elijah. Their science team had worked throughout the journey home to develop a demonstration based on the Veil's knowledge. On a secondary display, a small contained star, really just a sustained fusion reaction inside a quantum bottle, flickered unstably. Then, as human brainwave patterns collected from the Pathfinder's crew were channeled through a specially designed quantum resonator, the miniature star stabilized, its energy output evening out. This is merely a small-scale demonstration, Maya explained, but the principle can be expanded. We don't fully understand it ourselves yet, but we're willing to work with any peaceful civilization to develop this technology further. The collector's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of agitation or perhaps intense communication with others of its kind. Your demonstration is compelling, but words and small experiments are insufficient when entire civilizations face extinction. Before Maya could respond, the tactical display lit up with warnings. 3 collector vessels had broken formation, accelerating toward Earth while deploying smaller craft. They're launching boarding parties, Zara announced tensely, targeting major population centers. Admiral Sharma's voice came through, tight with controlled fury. All defense platforms, target incoming vessels. Prioritize the boarding craft. Wait, Maya interrupted. If we escalate to full conflict, we lose any chance of a peaceful resolution. There's another way. Working quickly with her crew and Earth scientists, Maya implemented a desperate plan based on the Veil's knowledge. Using the global communication network, they'd broadcast a specific frequency designed to amplify the natural quantum field generated by human consciousness. As billions of humans around the planet received the signal through their communication devices, their neural patterns unconsciously synchronized in a specific quantum resonance pattern. The effect was subtle on an individual level, but collectively, it created a massive surge in the protective field around Sol. The sun briefly flared, emitting a harmless but spectacular coronal ejection precisely toward the approaching collector vessels. It wasn't a weapon in the conventional sense, but rather a demonstration of the connection between humanity and their star, a living testament to what the collectors sought. The alien ships halted their advance, clearly detecting the phenomenon that no technology alone could produce. Do you understand now? Maya transmitted. What you seek can't be taken by force or extracted from unwilling subjects. It's the product of an evolutionary relationship that took hundreds of thousands of years to develop. But we can help you begin your own journey toward this symbiosis. After a tense hour of internal deliberation, the collectors responded. We will consider your offer of cooperation. The demonstration is compelling evidence that your species possesses what we seek. Over the next weeks, as Earth scientists worked alongside representatives from the collectors and eventually other arriving alien civilizations, a remarkable discovery emerged. While the specific quantum relationship between humans and Sol was unique, the underlying principle could be adapted. Other species could develop their own forms of stellar symbiosis, tailored to their distinct neural patterns and evolutionary histories. It wouldn't be an immediate solution. The process would take generations to fully develop. But for the first time since the Great Darkness began spreading, there was hope, a path forward that didn't end in extinction. 6 months after the Pathfinder's return, Maya stood once again on the observation deck of Horizon Station, watching as a joint human-collector research vessel prepared to depart for a dying star system. Do you think it will work? Asked Elijah, now heading the international research team dedicated to stellar symbiosis. Not immediately, Maya admitted, but we've given them something more valuable than an instant solution. Hope, Elijah nodded. Not just hope, Maya corrected, watching as the massive ship engaged its drive, carrying human scientists and collector specialists toward a distant star that might, with time and patience, learn to recognize its new guardians. Understanding. The darkness began with separation. One species using stars as weapons against another. The solution begins with connection. Throughout the galaxy, as knowledge of Earth's discovery spread, Civilizations on the brink of extinction began reaching out to one another, forming unprecedented alliances. Species that had been enemies for millennia now worked together, combining their unique neural patterns to create stronger protective fields. The stars would still die, eventually, but now they would live long enough for their guardian species to evolve, to develop deeper symbiotic relationships with their cosmic homes, and perhaps, one day, to understand fully the nature of the darkness itself. As for humanity, they found themselves in an unexpected position. Teachers and guides to civilizations far older and more technologically advanced than themselves. Earth became a center of cosmic cooperation, where the mysterious quantum dance between consciousness and starlight was studied with growing understanding. The universe, which had been darkening into cold extinction, now pulsed with renewed purpose as countless minds turned their attention to the stars above them, seeing for the first time not just distant lights, but partners in an ancient, ongoing dance of existence. Maya watched the research vessel disappear into quantum space, carrying with it humanity's greatest gift to the cosmos. Not technology, not resources, but the simple, profound discovery that consciousness itself was woven into the fabric of stars. The great darkness still fed on the light of distant suns, but it no longer fed unopposed. The legacy of humanity wouldn't be measured in empires or artifacts, but in light itself, in stars that continued to burn when they should have died, in civilizations that survived when they should have perished, and in the quantum threads that bound mind to cosmos in ways science was only beginning to understand. It was, Maya reflected as she turned toward the waiting Pathfinder and her next mission, a legacy worthy of a species that had always looked up at the night sky and dreamed of touching the stars.